What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is 50 insane fighter jets facts that will shock you, and hopefully me.
Hopefully.
Yeah, more likely it will shock me and you, and most of you legends will probably already know about it, because you legends are just way smarter than us when it comes to this stuff. But we've enjoyed doing these kind of videos, haven't we? I think we did, at least I definitely did, and I think you have as well, the 50 aircraft carrier ones.
Yes, we did.
Have you done that as well on the channel a while ago? So that's pretty cool. And there definitely is a few niche ones in there, so I'm assuming it's the same for fighter jets. A few obvious ones I'm guessing as well, because at the end of the day you need 50. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is the like goal for today?
2,000.
2,000 likes. Smash that like button, guys. Smash that subscribe button, and let's check out 50 insane fighter jet facts that will shock you. What we got?
Fighter jets are probably the most iconic and badass weapon in any nation's military. They patrol the skies like giant predatory birds, screaming down onto their targets from out of the blue, or lurking unseen miles away like a deadly assassin. They are loud, powerful, and some are on the bleeding edge of technology itself. So it's no surprise that their history and development is filled with amazing facts you probably never heard of. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographic Show. Today we're taking a look at 50 surprising facts you didn't know about fighter jets. 50. The F-4 Phantom, developed by the United States, was nicknamed the world's leading distributor of MiG parts because it destroyed so many MiG fighters in combat around the world. 49.
Wow.
After the terror attacks of 9/11, the U.S. Air Force dispatched combat air patrols to guard from further attacks. Yet before the Air Force could spin up combat-ready jets, Air National Guard fighters had already taken to the skies. Without any missiles or live ammunition, these brave pilots knew that further attacks could be imminent, and people needed protection right now. So they committed to crashing their fighter jets into any hijacked planes as the only means of taking them down. 48. Though not technically using a fighter jet, this one's still too cool to leave out. During World War II, Russian fighter pilot and hero of the Soviet Union, T. Kuznetsov, was shot down in enemy territory. When the German pilot landed, possibly to look for survivors or souvenirs from Kuznetsov's wreck, Kuznetsov stole the German plane and flew it home, narrowly avoiding being shot down by his own countrymen. 47. In 1989, a Soviet pilot ejected from a perfectly working MiG-23, thinking the plane's engine had failed. The unpiloted plane instead flew itself over 560 miles on its own, crossing Germany and eventually running out of fuel and crashing into a house in Belgium, where it killed one teenager. 46.
Oh, that's awful.
The Lockheed SR-7.
I can just imagine a plane like with its cockpit open, just goes straight for ages. Like, what?
One Blackbird was so fast, the designers told its pilots to not even worry about evasive maneuvers. They simply told them to put the pedal to the metal and accelerate and outfly any threat, to include missiles. 45. The SR-71's designers were probably so confident in their plane's abilities because although its true top speed is still classified, one of its pilots wrote in his book, The Untouchables, that he once evaded an anti-air missile by flying at an astonishing Mach 3.5. 44. Moving at 3 times the speed of sound and flying at 85,000 feet, the SR-71 existed before GPS and thus used an onboard camera that looked into space and used the position of the stars above to navigate accurately. Because it sat behind the pilot, its navigation system was officially designated R2-D2. 43. The SR-71 is still the fastest plane ever created and first took flight for the U.S. Air Force in 1964. NASA retired its last model in 1999. 42. Over 4,000 missiles were fired at the SR-71 during its lifetime, and not a single one ever hit. The plane was just too fast. 41. The plane required a large amount of titanium to construct, so the CIA created fake companies around the world and bought the metal from the USSR, which was the biggest supplier at the time, and both the US's enemy and #1 target of SR-71 missions.
Yes, that's quite mental because obviously that was the time of the Cold War and stuff like that. So you're literally against the Soviet Union. Yeah. But you're backhandedly, sneakily buying all the parts for a deadly evasive plane.
Yeah.
That's like, I wonder if did they ever find out? Let us know in the comments, because that's pretty...
It's mad to think.
Yeah, that is like probably just under the rug, like mugging you off in your face.
40. The Lockheed U-2, another of its famed spy planes and progenitor to the SR-71, first took flight in 1955 and flew at 70,000 feet, out of reach of both missiles and radar and used by the Soviet Union at the time. 39. The plane was rejected by the U.S. Air Force because of its non-traditional landing gear, which made the plane difficult to land. The CIA saw the potential for this untouchable aircraft, though, and immediately moved forward with the project. 38.
Wow.
U-2 pilots flew so high that they had to wear spacesuits, which limited their vision and made the plane difficult to land. A chase car was used instead to call out altitudes and help pilots land. 37. On May 1st, 1960, it was revealed that the Soviet Union had indeed been able to track U-2 planes, but their missiles weren't good enough to hit them for years.
Wow.
On that day, pilot Gary Powers was shot down over the Soviet Union, and the U.S. government immediately contracted Lockheed to build a better spy plane, the SR-71. 36. Every retired F-14 Tomcat that the United States has in inventory is being shredded to prevent spare parts reaching Iran, who still fly F-14s sold to them by the U.S. before the revolution in the 70s. 35.
Oh, wow.
The
Okay.
U.S. made
So they're literally just kind of tearing them apart
Yeah.
so someone don't like just black market sell them and help them out. But then I guess you kind of waste a lot of money yourself there.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you are. That's kind of.
But I guess if you don't want to get them in one cans,
Yeah.
does make sense.
Yeah, you put the onion.
Eagle
Yeah.
has, across all air forces it serves in, a air-to-air combat record of 104 kills and 0 losses. No air superiority versions of the F-15 have ever been shot down by enemy forces. 34. In 1983, an Israeli pilot successfully landed his F-15 with only one wing intact, not realizing the extent of the damage his plane had suffered, after he stated that if he had known, he would have ejected from the aircraft. 33. The F-15 can also add the only satellite kill in history to its impressive record. During an anti-satellite weapon test, U.S. Air Force pilot Major Wilbert D. Pearson fired an anti-satellite missile at a retired solar observatory satellite in orbit 345 miles above, destroying it. 32. Breaking the sound barrier was thought impossible by many, who stated that doing so was not just physically impossible, but would destroy any aircraft attempting to fly so fast. Yet on October 14, 1947, U.S. pilot Chuck Yeager did exactly that, flying at Mach 1.07 in the experimental X-1 jet. 31. Nobody expected Chuck Yeager or his aircraft to survive the attempt to break the sound barrier, and the answer to many of the technical challenges that plagued the X-1 program was simply Yeager better have paid up his insurance. 30. 2 days
Wow.
before his test flight, Yeager fell off a horse and broke 2 of his ribs. Afraid he would be grounded and unable to fly, Yeager went to a civilian doctor who simply taped up his ribs and kept the injury secret.
Wow.
He was in so much pain on the day of his flight that he couldn't seal the X-1's hatch by himself and had to be helped by a fellow pilot who knew of the injury. 29.
Wow.
In June 1974, when President Nixon was on his way to a scheduled stop in Syria, Syrian fighter jets intercepted Air Force One to act as escorts. Air Force One's crew, however, had not been informed, and the plane took evasive actions to include a steep dive. 28. The F-22
That
is
must
the
be pretty
world's
mental.
first.
I guess you've seen
Thinking
these
you're
jets,
being like followed and that, and
these
actually,
foreign jets just either side.
No
and
one's told you they're saving you.
yeah, you're doing a dive, and they're just like, no, we're trying to help. We're here for you.
Fifth-generation aircraft, and as such was prone to many bugs when first taking to the skies. Taking off from Hawaii, the first time an F-22 crossed the international date line, it had a massive computer failure and had to turn back and land. 27.
Wow.
Though it first became operational in the early 2000s, F-22s didn't see combat until 2014, when in response to the deployment of anti-air missile systems and fighter jets in the region by Russia, F-22s began to escort coalition aircraft, ensuring the safety of the other aircraft. The high-tech Raptors also used their electronic warfare suites to gather data on Russian anti-air systems. 26. The F-22 has a range of 2,000 miles and can cruise at 1,500 miles an
That is a
hour
beast.
without afterburners. 25. The F-22 has a radar cross-section the size of a bumblebee while in flight, and its weapons bay doors
Oh,
are
that's
closed,
mental
while
to
its
me.
powerful onboard sensors allow the aircraft to target and destroy enemies from beyond visual range, well before it's detected. 24. In exercises against friendly nations such as Britain and France, F-22s overwhelmingly decimated Rafale and Typhoon fighter jets by striking at them from beyond visual range and before they could be detected. 23. When the parameters of those exercises were redrawn, however, and F-22s were forced to fight at close quarters, French Rafale and British Typhoon jets broke even, or even outgunned their F-22 counterparts. This is because the F-22 is designed to be an assassin, not a traditional fighter, and would rely on its stealth, speed, and high-tech sensors to strike before being seen. 22. During testing, an F-22 dropped a GBU-32 Joint Direct Attack munition from 50,000 feet, and while cruising at Mach 1.5, the bomb hit a moving target 24 miles away. 21. The U.S. Air Force typically tests the quality of its new aircraft by pitting them against current aircraft. In 2006, the F-22 was pitted against the F-15 and maintained a kill ratio of 108-0, highest kill ratio of a new aircraft versus current aircraft ever achieved.
Absolutely
20.
destroyed.
The F-22 is the only aircraft in the world able to supercruise at supersonic speeds with full weapons loadout and without using fuel-inefficient afterburners. 19. The F-22 inspired the development of China's Chengdu 20 and Russia's Sukhoi T-50 PAK-FA as a countermeasure. Of the two, defense analysts around the world only ever consider the Sukhoi T-50 as serious competition. But with the recent announcement that Russia was indefinitely postponing its 5th-generation aircraft program, there seems to be no real competitor in the immediate future for the Raptor. 18.
I can see why that would have been like we need to sort something out, because it is ridiculously insane. Surprising Russia aren't upgrading, because like I say, it is absolutely insane. China's one was a little bit closer, but I'm enjoying this video. You enjoy it?
Yeah, it's good.
It's quick facts. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. But like we said at the start, there's some niche ones in there, some random ones in there, some cool ones in there. And I'm just getting it, but it's absolutely badass, most of these planes.
Yeah.
Absolutely badass.
In 1956, due to its high speed, an F-11 shot itself because it was faster than its own
that is
bullets.
insane.
17.
See, that is insane.
The F-35 is the U.S.'s second 5th-generation aircraft, and the total cost of development is so far 7 times greater than that of the International Space Station.
That's mental.
16.
That is actually mental.
Russian-built Su-35 is the pinnacle of Russian 4th-generation fighter jets, and also the most maneuverable aircraft in the world. It uses thrust vectoring engines, much like the F-22, but with a greater range and the ability to vector the nozzles of its twin engines in different directions. It's capable of acrobatic maneuvers the F-22 can't match. 15. The Su-35's incredible thrust vectoring capabilities are not just for impressive audiences at air shows. They also allow the Su-35 to achieve very high angles of attack, moving in one direction while pointing its nose in another, which lets it more easily track and target evading targets. This makes the Su-35 one of the most deadly dogfighters ever created. 14. A Su-35's thrust vectoring makes it lethal when targeting an enemy plane, but it leaves it in a very low speed and low energy state that makes it easy prey for other enemy fighters if not protected by its wingman. 13. Though not a stealth aircraft, the Su-35's radar-absorbent materials give it a radar cross-section between 1 and 3 meters, reducing the range it can be detected and targeted.
It's not even a stealth
The
aircraft as well. That's
Su-35's
still
pilots
insane.
use advanced helmets that can automatically target and launch an R-74 infrared-guided missile by the pilot simply looking through a helm-mounted optical sight at an enemy plane up to 60 degrees away from where the plane is pointed. 11. Utilizing the Earbeast-E passively electronically scanned array radar, a Su-35 can track up to 30 targets with a radar cross-section of 3 meters up to 250 miles away, and targets with cross-sections as small as 0.1 meters from 50 miles away. This radar, however, is easier to detect and jam than the ASA radars used by the West. 10. The German-made Me-262 was the world's first operational jet-powered fighter aircraft, and its pilots scored 542 kills on Allied aircraft. 9. During operational trials, Me-262 scored 19 kills against Allied aircraft versus the loss of 6 Me-262s, immediately making it Germany's top fighter. 8. Despite its effectiveness, though, the Me-262 was plagued by too much bureaucratic oversight, which postponed its development and manufacture until late in the war when materials were short and Germany's manufacturing base was under constant attack by the Allies. Had the jet been cleared for development earlier, the outcome of the war may have been much different. 7.
Good
The
job, everyone.
F-35 is not only the most expensive fighter ever built, it's also made up of 300,000 separate parts by 1,500 suppliers from all over the world. 6. Despite being the most high-tech aircraft in the world, during development, the F-35 had serious issues with its oxygen generation and delivery systems, potentially putting the pilot's life at risk. 5. The F-35's flight systems are the most advanced in the world, and altogether, its electronic warfare, radar, communication, navigation and identification, electro-optical targeting, and distributed aperture system all use over 8 million lines of code, more than any other plane in the air. 4. Developed specifically for the F-35, its Pratt & Whitney F-135 engine is an afterburning turbofan capable of generating 41,000 pounds of thrust. 3. With the addition of a lift fan to the front of the aircraft and a vectoring duct to the engine, the F-35 is the only 5th-generation aircraft ever designed that can land vertically. 2.
Wow.
Despite its
Wait,
own
what?
impressive
Like
capability,
this way.
Can land. I'm assuming it. That's what it is, because I'm not gonna lie. I will be honest here, which I should probably make sound like an idiot. I initially thought of vertically, like you were playing upwards and coming down, but yeah, I think it means planes still
Like
like
you
that,
come
but it's just
down
hovering
instead of
down
float. I
instead
get
of
it
coming
now.
in.
I
But
get
I
it,
initially
I
did think
get
that
it.
for a second, and then
It's technically horizontal, you know.
yeah.
the F-35 is even more impressive in its ability to support other aircraft. Its powerful sensor fusion and information distribution capabilities makes each F-35 a miniature AWACS, pumping out targeting information to all friendly aircraft within range. The F-35 is even able to guide in missiles fired by other non-stealth aircraft to their targets.
Wow.
1. During World War II, in order to hide the development of their radar and explain their ability to detect and target German planes from such long distances, British pilots started a rumor that carrots give great night vision. German pilots immediately started eating large...
That's where the rumours come from, because that is eat your carrots, you can see at night. That's still to this day, as you guys probably know. If that's actually where it's come from, that's pretty mental. That is pretty
amounts
mental.
of carrots. What other amazing or
Oh, that
incredible
was the end
facts
of it.
about fighter jets do you know of?
Let us know in the comments, because you guys will definitely know
Yeah.
some of them. Smash that like button if you enjoyed. Smash that subscribe button as well. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a good video.
Very quick. It was a lot of information thrown at us, but some random ones, some plane-specific ones, some funny ones in there, and what a way to end it with the
Yeah,
carrots one,
definitely.
a relatable one. Smash that like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button, and watch the video.
Have a fantastic day.
And we'll see you legends in the next one. Peace.